Good morning. Hand today is going to be King Queen. It's me in early position. I open raise. I have a pretty tight open raising range. I do have some speculative hands in there. I raise and we get one caller, villain 4. Villain 4, I have 24 hands on him. He's playing 35-13. Looks to be a little bit loose. Looking at his stats, he doesn't have any 3-bets yet. He's limped 11%. Pre-flop raises 13%. I went with kind of like a standard calling range that I often see. Pocket pairs, broadways. Not a huge amount. I'm going to assume in mid position he might call a little bit tighter. I assume kings plus ace king is going to be raising here. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But that's our range. Flop comes ace 7-4. I think that's actually pretty decent. We have flush draw, second nut flush draw. Our range includes the ace. I think this is a situation where we should be checking somewhat, where we should be betting somewhat. But I think versus villain 4's range, I think we do have equity advantage. So if we bet and he folds any of his kings and queens and jack hands, and maybe even pocket pairs, hey, we profit because we didn't have to hit our draw and we have an unpaired hand. So I do think we could see that here. I bet half pot, and then villain raises. Looks like he does a min raise here. And what do we do? So let's get our flops here. Ace 7-4. I bet. So with my cbet, I do think we are betting. Maybe not all of them. Yeah, we'll say all pocket pairs. We've got our flush draws. I'm going to say our 2-card backdoor flush draws are also ones that we're going to bet. Top pair, ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5. I think we could do that because we have, we can backdoor to the straight. So I think that's probably going to be what I'm going to bet. And then villain raises. What is he raising this with? Maybe a top pair hand. Maybe a flush draw hand. Maybe he's a player that raises. I mean, pre-flop he hasn't really raised. On the flop, has he raised cbet? No, this will be the first time. But again, we only have 24 hands. So what do I see other players do? Normally top pair plus. I don't think 8s, 9. I don't think these under pairs raise. I don't think the middle pair, pocket pair, possibly the middle pair, depends on the player. There are some aggressive players that will raise with the middle pair. I feel like they're a little bit better players. They're often doing that because when you look at my hand, I mean, I do have aces. I've got top pair 40% of the time. I've got like 50% of the time I hit with top pair plus. So the other, almost 50%, we'll say 40%, I really don't have anything. Actually, that's not true. It's not 50%. It's say 30% or so, 20%. I don't have anything. So they're making a move to see, hey, do I actually have a hand or not? So I think he's going to be pretty much like top pair plus, maybe with flush draw. So I think that's probably his range. And what do I now call? I don't think we can necessarily call pocket pair below the top card unless it's part of our flush draw. I think 2-card backdoor flush draws we could probably call, see if we improve. Maybe not all of those though. All of them. I think we need the ones that could back into a straight, so where the turn card can greatly improve us and allow us to continue. So out of these, let's see here, 9, 8, probably not 10, 9, probably not I mean, Jack 10. I think we could do Queen, Jack, King, Queen. I think those are questionable. I probably wouldn't mind folding just all of those. The King, Queen, King, Jack. Just be done with it. But we'll continue with it. So I called. Six of spades hits. Great for our hand. All right, now he took initiative. Should we lead out? Pot's 22. He's got 54.4.5. I think if I bet 22, he might just call and then call on the river. What I'd like to do is try to get him committed right now. So I think if I check, he's probably going to bet again. He might bet again. Maybe he's scared of the spade. I don't know. I think this is question mark where I'd like to check out GTO, see what GTO says. So I think we could probably check 100% here, see what he does. Villain bets half pot. So now on that turn, weak flush draw, maybe not. Third nut flush draw, the queen, maybe. It's part of the ace. I think the ace jacks and is still bet. So I think top pair sets flush, definitely betting. Nut flush draw. So it looks like he's going for basically 100% of his range at this point. Is he going to do it all with top pair? No, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the ace tens, ace jacks maybe. I think maybe ace jack, but ace queen could be his best top pair. So we'll narrow it down, but then he has nut flush, second nut, and third nut. So we're going to say that's his betting range. If I raise here, because it's on us, I think sets are calling. I think the flushes are calling. And of the flushes, I'm really just worried about four of them, the aces. And I think we're going to be getting it in. I think if I just call, then I run the risk that he's going to check behind, especially if he had like ace queen with queen of spades. So I do think this is going to be a good spot to just go ahead and check raise. What are we going to check raise? We're going to check raise our big hands. We're going to check raise our flush. I think our sets are probably just going to check. And then I think what we can do is check raise our nut flush draw as well. I think that's going to be our check raising range. So we're definitely going to be polarized, 60% flush, 40% draw. But even with the draw, we're going to have our top pair hand here. I don't even think second nut flush is something that we should be dealing with here. So it's going to be we're not necessarily turning it into bluff, but we've got a solid ace king hand. Ace queen hand, so we still have top pair, and if we happen to be behind to something better, we always have the flush draw. So I did check raise and he called. What do I think he's going to call with? I think he's probably still calling with everything. He might give up the third nut, but I think he's still calling with everything. So he's all in. We see the river as a jack. We're all in, and we get to see showdown. So the question is, what did he have? So we ran it twice. I guess we ran it twice on that because it was all in, and I won both. So I showed king queen. He showed ace king. So I didn't have ace king in his range. I didn't have it in his calling range, and that's kind of interesting. But he had the nut flush draw. So of the aces, I do think he would have been calling that. I think the top pair was a hand, so we kind of figured he had an ace or better. So I'm going to call that a win. Now, the question is, how do we do a GTO? So we're going to start with just what we had for the range here. So his range without the ace, king, aces, and kings. So on the flop, we are betting 3.75. We have king, queen, spades. We can bet some of that, and I think that's, we're not just betting any king, queen. Even the king, queen clubs, the backdoor draws, looks like we're betting those. We're not betting all of our pocket pairs, but we can bet. So it does look like we're going to be we were playing this correctly. Ace 10 was an exception. We probably should have checked. And we're probably checking more with our Ace 2, Ace 3, Ace 5 hands than what I would have expected. So we bet, and he raises, and I think that was kind of the question mark. What was he raising with? I mean, he really shouldn't be raising a whole lot with the aces, but he did. So he raised, and now it's on us. What do we call? We're calling with those. The question that we had was like the club backdoor flush draws, and it looks like these backdoor flush draws we would be folding, except like 8-7, 7-6. But I don't think I had those middle pairs in my range. I think I dumped them when I was check raised here. So we were like the 7-8, 7-6. I think I dumped those because I assumed he probably would have had the ace. GTO says keep him in there because he is going to have some of these, like, a weak threes, weak pocket fives, possibly. But he raised, we call, and turn was the 6 of spades. And we are checking basically 91%. What's that? 9-10, 9-10 of spades. Okay, so possible straight flush draws at that point. So we do check. Villain's betting most of the hands that he was raising with. And then we raise all in 9.3% at the time. Those raises are, our flushes. So we had that correct. And then, our aces are net flush draw. So I think we were correct on, looks like we did hit that. So, and I'm going to guess that he did it correctly too. So with our raise, he's probably going to call his net flush draws, which is probably correct. But we know that he has ace king in his range. And if he has that, he didn't really raise, so maybe he calls with just kings as well. Maybe aces. But let's update this. Let's rebuild. Let's run our solver, and we'll be back and see when we add in the ace king, does that change our plan? So we'll pause and be back. All right, we finished up. Looks like we are not betting as frequently. We were betting like 60%. Still looks like we're betting our flush draw. Looks like we are leaning towards a check more with ace 10, ace jack, and the low aces. So if we think he has the ace king, just adding the ace king adds 16 more combos. Well, not technically 12 more combos because the ace is on the board. Then we're going to be checking more. And I bet if we check and he bets, we're going to be calling with those. So I did have a question on this hand. With the king queen spade, was it better to like go for a check raise? That this tells us no. We should be leading here and being aggressive. So we bet, he raises. We call again 7, 7, 6, 8, 7. Those are the hands we're going to be raising with. And then 6 of spades comes out. We do bet a little bit more frequently. It looks like we're betting with some of the ace and ace of spades. Trips with the nut flush draw. Looks like we're betting more here with king queen. We're betting half pot. So if we bet half pot, is villain going to be raising? He should be calling instead of raising. Should be calling instead of raising. Then we lead again. This time we shove all in. So in this scenario, for if he's got ace king, it looks like we're leading. Question is why? So if we check, it's because GTO says he should be checking behind. His raising range was going to be really small. So let's fix this. We know he didn't do that. So I'm going to say he raises kings. Let's say sevens and fours he raises without a doubt. And we've got the ace king, ace queen. Let's even do ace jack and do like ace 10, ace 9 is just a check. Let's run this and we'll be back and see how this changes. Oh, hold on. I think, did we do this? If he raises, did that change our numbers? Yeah, it did. So if we raise here, we still have the call, and then we're checking. Well, at this point, we're leading with king queen. So if he raises those, we do have our call with the king queen. We're calling with the aces, and then we're leading a little bit more with those. All right, we're gonna rerun the solver and see if this changes anything. All right, so this changed things a bit. So now we're basically betting 100% because he's going to be raising pretty transparent range. So ace king, ace queen, ace jack, sevens, fours, maybe a little 8-7s, but very transparent. Once he raises, you can see that we gave up all of our clubs, backdoor club draws. We're calling king queen suited. We're calling our spade draws, but not even. Actually, looks like we're raising. We should be raising king queen. I guess if we raise, we expect him to call here. Huge percentage. I guess if he shoves, we're still going to be calling those flush draws. So knowing this, I think we should probably add a note too that kind of suggests that we need to be a little bit more aggressive. I didn't think he would have done this, but against a player that definitely has ace king is going to be raising transparent ranges here, then we should probably go for it. And this excludes our flush draws too, so we could kind of add in our flush draws. I think if we add in his flush draws, we're probably not going to be as aggressive with our own flush draws. But anyways, hopefully you enjoy this hand. I think having a player just call behind with ace king is fairly rare. However, if you go back in the last week or so, I seem to be encountering quite a few of these players. So if you enjoy this hand, look tomorrow for another.